Hello, everyone. So, I have been working for a while now on starting this series that I'm calling Behind Hollywood. Now, what this series is I'll be speaking with a whole bunch of people of various roles in the entertainment industry to kind of get like an inside perspective on this field of work and learn from the pros. So, today's the first ever episode, and I got to speak with David 51. Now, if you've never heard that name before, I highly suggest you keep watching this because he is such a great music industry mentor that you just have to hear what he has to say. So, yeah, we're gonna get right into it.
Thank you for speaking with me, first of all. It means a lot because I assume you're pretty busy. So, to start, would you be able to, introduce yourself, kind of, give some background information, who you are, what you do, type thing?
Sure. My name is David Norman. Most of my touring friends call me 51. That's my nickname. I've been a tour manager, tour director, production manager, tour accountant. I've also worked as a promoter rep. And I've done mostly this stuff over the past 35 years. So I feel that I'm equally well versed in each position, but usually on tours I get hired for double positions, either tour manager and tour accountant, tour director and tour accountant, or production manager and tour accountant, or I've gone out as just in that singular designated role. But my favorite positions to go out as is usually as tour accountant because it's dealing with less personalities and dealing with numbers, which I really enjoy doing. So that's my story. And I've worked with everyone in pretty much in all genres of music. I've done country, rock, hip-hop, jazz, R&B, and I've worked with everyone from Prince to Green Day, Matchbox 20, Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. So that's my story.
Yeah, I saw a bunch, a list of people that you worked with, and I was, mind blown. Some huge names. So how did you, get started? Did you go to, school for this stuff? And, what was your intro to music, I guess, kind of that industry?
I was a very good drummer when I was younger. So in high school, I played in, the marching band, and I played in our theater group's bands, and in high school, I started playing in a Rush cover band. I wasn't old enough to play in clubs and stuff, but I was still doing it. So I lost my parents to a car accident when I was just graduated. So my parents left a little bit of an inheritance to my sister and myself. So I bought some recording equipment, found a small building, and built a recording studio, and then learned how to engineer and how to mix. And then one of the groups that came through my studio got signed to a major record deal. So when they went on the road, they asked me if I would come out and mix and engineer their shows. I said, sure. And they were from a small town, and they said, well, could you also book the hotels and flights? And I said, okay. Could you also drive the van? Okay. Could you also help set up the gear? Okay. So I didn't know what a tour manager was, but I was basically doing all the tour manager duties. So I did pretty well, and some other people observed me and gave me a chance to work on bigger tours, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
So it was kind of like a learn as you go type thing for that?
It was initially, but I had three great mentors who helped me coming up, who I still speak to this day. And I am a huge proponent of anyone who wants to learn anything in life to find a mentor, because those people can kind of guide you and teach you and avoid some of the pitfalls. And so, yeah, I'm also on the board of an organization called Well Done, where we help college students with internships and mentorships. So I'm a huge mentorship proponent.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this to you, that I saw you on the Day in the Life on Tour panel with Well Done. Yeah, so that's how I kind of know who you are.
Okay.
So I guess pre-COVID, if you're on a tour, doing a tour, what would a typical day in your life doing a tour be like?
Well,
with responsibilities and stuff.
I little bit difficult to answer. So, would you want to know day in the life of tour manager or production manager or tour accountant, or give me one and then I can kind of relay?
Tour manager.
Okay, so tour manager would be more so of dealing with the band and the artist. So a typical day, well, there's no such thing as a typical day on tour. Because every day is different. You're dealing with multiple personalities. You're moving from city to city and sometimes country to country. So it's basically moving the artist from the hotel to the venue to the airport via SUVs or via tour bus, and just dealing with all the logistics. You also deal with booking the hotels, booking the flights, booking the ground transportation. Pre-COVID, dealing with meet and greets, moving, getting them prepared for the show, giving them like a 1 hour call before you hit for showtime, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, start walking towards the stage, making sure that the stage is ready, getting the show started, being on the side of the stage when they come off the side of the stage to kind of help direct them back to the dressing rooms, waiting for them to shower up and then either move to the bus to head back to the hotel or move to the bus to travel to the next city, and then rinse and repeat multiple days a week.
Okay, and this is more like out of curiosity, but who goes on the tour with the artist? Like, what roles like are traveling with the artist, I guess?
There's so many. Depending on the size and scope of the tour, it could just be you and the artist, or you, the artist, and the band. But if it's a larger type artist, possibly you're going to travel with security also, so maybe one or two other people. Sometimes the artist will have an assistant. Let's see what else. I'm looking at some of my sheets here because I was preparing myself. So, security. Sometimes you have a publicist that travels with you. But again, it all depends on the size and scope. So if it's like a club band, it's usually just the tour manager, the artist, and the band. And then you have the crew is taken care of by a different entity, usually the production manager, who takes care of all the crew. And that involves sound, lights, video, buses, bus drivers, truck drivers, etc.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like you kind of already answered my next question. I was going to ask the difference between like clubs, tours, stadiums, and even like festivals, and how your job would kind of be different depending on each tour.
Every job, every entity like that, festivals, arenas, clubs, it's all the same. I tell people what you learn doing a club tour translates to moving up to doing a theater tour, which translates moving to doing an arena tour, which transfers up moving to festivals, stadium tours. It's all the same process, but it's just in a bigger magnitude. There's more personalities, more people involved. So it's pretty much the same. It's just bigger as you move up the chain.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. So let's say there's a person who wants to work in the music industry, not as like a musician or any part of that, but they don't know exactly what area they want to work in, and then say they don't know all the opportunities. What would you advise someone in that situation to do, I guess?
I would say that everyone comes into the industry in a different way. So finding what you really want to do and then doing your own research, because what I have found with a lot of mentees, a lot of students, they'll say, I want to get into the music industry. What should I do? And I say, well, I don't know. What do you want to do? And they'll say, I don't know. I just want to be in the music industry. I mean, every industry is large in size and scope. So you kind of have to narrow it down. Like a lot of students will say, I just want to be in the music industry. Okay, so do you want to be in the recording process? Do you want to be an A&R person? Do you want to be a record person? Do you want to be a touring person? Do you want to be a marketing or digital person? You kind of have to narrow your size and scope of what your strong suits are, what you're really interested in. because when you just go in, I just want to be in the music industry, it's very, very hard to kind of pigeonhole what you want to do. Only you know what your interests are and what you really want to do. So only you can really answer that question. And once you know what you want to do some research, because with the advent of Google everything, you can find people online that you can pick their brain or articles. I mean, like that's what I did during the pandemic. I researched a lot of people that I wanted to reach out and talk to and pick their brain. And I did that, and I did a lot of research and reading, and I just think it makes you a little bit more well-rounded going into, because I have a lot of friends in the industry said, you know, I have so many students come to me and say, well, what should I do? And the answer is, I can't tell you what you should do. Only you can answer that question, because only you know what you want to do, you know, so have a plan.
Okay, I get that. I think that's all I have.
Thank you so much, David, for speaking with me, and thank you to everybody who watched. It means the absolute world. And make sure you subscribe for more Behind Hollywood coming very, very soon.
It's brutal out here.